So, if you're someone who tracks your menstrual cycle, you've probably downloaded an app for it. But have you ever really stopped to ask yourself if that simple digital calendar is, well, enough? Are we really getting the full picture of our health, or are we just getting a clinical, one-size-fits-all guess? Turns out, there's a much, much better way to look at the whole thing.
I mean, think about it. Most of these trackers feel pretty impersonal, right? They're just a grid. They put a few red dots on some dates, and that's about it. It's a really passive experience that takes this incredibly complex symphony of hormones happening inside you and treats it like a simple appointment. But what if your tracker could be more? What if it could be a real wellness companion that actually understands your body's unique rhythm?
And here's the thing. The problem is that a lot of these digital wellness tools, they just miss the point. They're built on these really outdated models, sometimes they have intrusive business practices, and they have interfaces that, honestly, feel more like a medical chart than a personal, safe space. So let's break down exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, the difference becomes incredibly clear when you put them side by side. You look at generic trackers, and what do you see? Your data is often stored on some random cloud server and then sold. The interface is totally static, and it's just cluttered with ads. But then you look at Bloom. It's built on a local-first principle, which means your data is encrypted and stays right there on your phone. The interface actually changes and adapts to your cycle's phase, and zero ads. It is a fundamentally different approach.
So how in the world does Bloom pull this off? Well, it all starts by just throwing that old calendar model right out the window. Instead, it's built on a whole new philosophy. It sees the menstrual cycle not as a countdown to a period, but as that symphony of hormones we were talking about, with 4 very distinct phases, kind of like the seasons of the year. Let's start with winter. This is your menstrual phase. Both your estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest point, so your energy is naturally going to be lower. Your skin might feel a little bit dry, maybe a bit dull. This is not the time to be pushing for a new personal record at the gym. It's your body basically sending you a very clear signal for some radical rest and reflection.
And then, after winter, comes spring. This is the follicular phase. As your estrogen starts to rise, it gives you this amazing boost in collagen and serotonin. You'll feel your energy coming back, your mood starts to lift, and you might even notice your skin is starting to look plumper and more refreshed. This is the perfect time for creativity, for planning, for starting those new projects.
Next up, we hit the peak of the cycle, summer, or ovulation. Estrogen is at its absolute highest right now, and this doesn't just give you a huge surge of energy and confidence, it can even subtly increase your facial symmetry. These are what we call your glow days, when you are biologically primed to feel and look your best. It is an amazing time for those important meetings or big social events.
And finally, we have autumn, the luteal phase. Your estrogen drops, but progesterone rises. And this can sometimes lead to some skin breakouts, a little water retention, or that classic pre-period puffiness. Your energy starts to turn inward, which makes this a really great time for finishing up tasks, focusing on nourishing foods, and just gentle self-care before the whole cycle begins again.
Okay, now, this entire philosophy, this whole beautiful system, it's all built on a foundation of something that is so incredibly important in our world today: radical privacy. I mean, sharing this kind of intimate data requires absolute trust, and that's precisely why Bloom has built a digital fortress for you. And the absolute core of this fortress is a concept called local-first architecture. So here's the crucial point. Your deeply personal health data isn't uploaded to some company's server where it can get analyzed or, worse, sold. No, it lives right there on your device. It belongs only to you, period. And this is all reinforced with 2 key features. First, you've got bank-grade end-to-end encryption. That means even if you decide to sync your cycle with a partner, that data is completely shielded. And second, offline sovereignty. You can track everything without even needing an internet connection, giving you total, complete control. But you know, privacy is only one piece of the puzzle, right? The other half is intelligence. Bloom isn't just a passive journal you write in. It's a smart engine that actually adapts to your unique body, using some pretty sophisticated science to give you its insights. So how does it do this? With something called Bayesian logic. Okay, think of it like a really smart weather app. Instead of just using a generic forecast for the entire country, it learns from the actual real-time conditions in your specific neighborhood to get more accurate over time. Bloom does the exact same thing for your body. It understands its cycles vary, and it learns from every single data point you log. And this intelligence powers two other amazing features. Every single insight the app gives you is benchmarked against the latest reproductive science. And for those who use it, the Partner Sync provides crucial emotional and physical context, which can really help reduce misunderstandings and build support in a relationship.
So that's all the tech and the philosophy behind it. But what does this actually look like in the real world? What does it feel like? Let's hear from some people who are already using Bloom to understand their own rhythm.
Sonia's experience here. This really gets to the absolute heart of the app's design. It's not about feeling like a patient. It's about feeling empowered. The whole goal is to feel like you have this supportive wellness coach right there with you, not some sterile, cold medical tool.
And here we go. This is a perfect example of cycle syncing in action. Prachi is using her summer phase, her ovulation, those glow days we talked about for high-stakes meetings, and she uses her other phases for different kinds of work. This is all about aligning your professional life with your biological rhythm to get better results. It's brilliant.
Now this one is so important. For anyone out there with an irregular cycle, you know that most trackers are basically useless. But Nidhi points out that Bloom's adaptive logic, that smart weather app for your body, was actually able to make sense of her cycle when all the others just failed.
So when you start to put all of these pieces together, you've got this seasonal philosophy, the radical privacy, the adaptive intelligence, you end up with a really powerful message. This is all about taking back control and truly finally owning your own rhythm. This is Bloom's mission, and it just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about. It's right at that intersection of cutting-edge science, beautiful design that feels more like art, and an absolutely unwavering commitment to your privacy. It really is a complete redefinition of what a wellness tool can be. And that brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Just imagine it. Imagine aligning your work, your relationships, your self-care, all of it, with your body's natural phases. What new potential could you possibly unlock? What could you achieve if you truly understood your own rhythm?